In this edition of Southern Newsweek, the community spirit comes to the fore in Brockville as residents rally to support the victims of a house fire. Erosion at St Clair prompts concerned residents to take matters into their own hands, and we take a look at DCC efforts to improve the disposal of cardboard within the CBD. Kia ora, I'm Holly Buchanan. There's already an outpouring of community support for the victims of last weekend's house fire in Brockville. Generous locals are converging on Brockville Primary School to donate items to the family which lost everything in the blaze. It's putting a positive spin on the unfortunate event.
Giving what they can. In the wake of the fire that destroyed a Brockville home on Sunday afternoon, locals are rallying to help the occupants. They lost everything inside their state house in Dalziel Road. Now a donation drop-off point has been set up at Brockville Primary School.
The community really reached out to them yesterday, reached out to me as well and said, well, how can we do this? So for me it was easy. We just opened the school up and provide some space, provide the resource and use our Facebook, use our communication, get that out.
The appeal has already racked up over 9,000 views and shares on social media, encouraging people to visit the school. Donations are pouring in, with the family's plight striking a chord with residents.
It's an incredibly tight-knit community. They've got each other's backs, that's for sure, and they hate to see people down, and they look after each other when they are down. And it was really just a way of being able to help each other and do it in a special way.
Plenty of toys and kitchenware have been donated, but the family still needs larger items like furniture and appliances. They're understood to have insurance, but donated goods are providing immediate help. So
they have a house for, they're going to get that later this week, and it's just what we can get into that house in the meantime. The other thing that's big for them is probably money. There's a lot of things that just can't be replaced, and if we can make life a bit easier for them right now, that's what it's about.
Hickford is hoping local businesses will provide further support. The appeal at Brockville School is running every morning this week as investigators continue to determine the cause of the blaze. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Over 300 high school students are cutting their holidays short and heading back to class this week. They're taking part in a University of Otago program which is offering a taste of campus life. And it's getting a shake-up after being run for more than 2 decades.
Getting stuck into science. These scientifically minded high school students are attempting to extract caffeine from energy drinks. It's one of more than 30 projects being undertaken during the Hands-On at Otago summer program, giving the young participants a tertiary taster.
Some of them have come from very tiny schools where there may be only 4 in their entire class, and suddenly there's 10 people who are all interested in their stuff, their one project, or there's 24 who are all on their floor and really keen to find out about all sorts of things.
The unique program has been running for the past 26 years as a strictly science-based summer course, but its enduring popularity has led organisers to expand the offerings.
So this year, the first time, we've got Hands-On at Otago, which includes humanities and business projects as well. So we have 120 more kids than usual. We are in 2 different colleges instead of just one, and we've got 30 projects, so it's got bigger.
Students will get the chance to explore beyond the university with trips planned to the Gasworks Museum and Orokonui Eco Sanctuary. But for many, just the opportunity to be on campus is the main reason behind their involvement.
I just wanted to come and experience Otago University and see what it's like, because they did advertise that most of it would be, you're living like a student.
I really want to come here and study medicine and stuff, so I thought it would be a great opportunity.
I thought it would be a really cool experience to come and see what it's like at the university, to study here or live here when I leave school.
Organisers are confident the program's expansion will continue in coming years. The mammoth task of organising next year's intake will begin in just a few weeks. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Debate is continuing to rage over what should be done about erosion at St Clair Beach. Concerned residents are taking matters into their own hands, forming an action group with close to 1,000 members. They're hoping local authorities take notice and start working on a permanent solution.
Surveying the damage. Long-time St Clair resident Graham Newton says ongoing beach erosion issues are getting worse. He believes the problems stem from the current seawall being built 12 years ago.
Nobody in their right mind anywhere around the world encroaches 18 metres into the ocean and expects to get away with it. So we believe that encroachment is partly causing the problems here.
Newton is wanting the Dunedin City Council to adopt a soft engineering approach by replenishing the sand needed to buffer the seawall. He says that should help counteract some of the issues arising as a result of the damming of the Clutha River.
There's millions of cubic metres of sediment sitting behind those dams, which should be coming to the coast on a regular basis, and it's just not happening. So we've got a sand-deprived coast, we've got a modified corner. Those are two of the problems.
Newton's been vocal about St Clair erosion issues for years, having spent decades as a resident and surf club member. He's also part of the recently formed St Clair Action Group, which is nearing 1,000 members. He hopes that with some experts on board, the group's concerns will start to be taken seriously.
We're going to delve into what we see as the problems. Council never listen to us anyway because we don't have qualifications after our name. But we do have people who've come out of the woodwork and are prepared to offer advice to us. And they do have the right qualifications.
City Council staff are monitoring the beach and its changing form. While Newton's concerned about the extent of erosion damage, he's hoping the situation can be rectified. An action group meeting is planned for early next month, offering a chance for interested parties to discuss the best way forward. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Most tertiary students are on holiday, but for some, summer is synonymous with study. More than 1,000 students are taking summer school classes at the University of Otago before the first semester kicks in. And one organisation is running events for those still on campus.
Blowing off the studying steam. University of Otago students are letting loose after returning back to campus early for summer school.
Summer school is about bringing something for the students who want to catch up, speed up or complete a bit quicker in their degrees.
The Otago University Students Association is providing free food, cricket and other activities for students finding themselves in the city over summer. The organisation says it's important to keep the rapport up with students during the summer break when many leave Dunedin.
These events are held for the students who come to Otago during summer schools. The campus is a little bit quieter, there's less things for them to do while they're here, so it's just to cater for all of those students. We hold quite a diverse range of events, so there's a lot of recreation courses that they can sign up to do, and events like this during the summer too.
More than 1,500 students are attending summer school with 56 papers available. They're grateful for efforts to keep the student community alive during what can be a lonely period.
You don't feel like you're fully part of the community if you're just at home and no one else is in your flat or there's no one else on your street even. So having these events basically gets the majority of the students who want to get out and have some fun with other students can do what they want to do.
Summer school continues for another month before the university's first semester officially starts in mid-February. Annabelle Dick, 39, Dunedin News.
A new recycling initiative is being implemented within the CBD. The City Council is trying to improve the city's disposal of cardboard by creating drop-off sites, and local businesses are jumping on board with the idea and taking the lead.
Cleaning the mess from central streets. Local business people are opening up their doors for cardboard to be stored before it's recycled. The City Council contracts for the broken down boxes to be collected twice a week within the city, but there's a general feeling that more can be done.
Currently the only council recycling service is the cardboard collection service from curbside. That's the only service that council provides.
Piles of cardboard on central footpaths are considered to be an eyesore for visitors. Council staff have approached retailers encouraging them to help keep boxes off the streets. Those at the Octagon night and day were the first to respond, opening their back doors so recycling from other businesses can be stored.
When we were able to find a solution, I was more than happy to help out. And Reading, we're pretty good, you know, it's a good community in the Octagon, and I was willing to help out with Reading and probably have a little bit more space for someone else.
Council staff are now working on establishing more cardboard drop-off points around the CBD. Another 2 businesses have signed up, but Irvan says more needs to be involved for the scheme to have a significant impact.
Ideally, the place we want to be is to get the material off of curbside altogether and take it to a location, you know, whether it's a car park behind their business or a serviceable area. Not all businesses have them, so we're really asking for everybody to work together.
Both council staff and business owners are seeing an improvement in the tidiness of the Octagon. The recycling initiative is one that both parties are keen to see expand throughout more of the central city. Annabelle Dick, 39 Dunedin News.
Still to come on Southern Newsweek, Otago Museum boasts a sellout success and a local art gallery welcomes an emerging artist to the city. Welcome back. Visitors to Otago Museum this summer have had their eyes towards the skies. The $1 million planetarium has been a sellout success with visitors of all ages, but staff say there's even more to look forward to on the horizon.
Space, the final frontier. There's been 7,000 visitors to the Otago Museum's planetarium in its first month, going to the edge of the universe and back. And with such high interest, it's pushing staff to set their sights even higher.
We are hoping this year to be able to deliver on our promise of a 3D planetarium. So it'll be the only 3D planetarium in New Zealand, and we're looking at some options of what shows we get in for that.
She says it's been fairly smooth sailing behind the scenes delivering the content, but for some visitors it's an experience they weren't expecting.
We don't have a telescope unfortunately in there, but we do have a very fantastic representation of the sky, and it's 360 degrees, so all the way around and you're immersed right inside it.
With 3 exciting shows on offer, exploring the universe has never been easier. And it's not just the younger generation taking an interest.
We definitely have a lot more adults than we do through Discovery World, so it's proving to be quite popular with older people as well as younger people. It is really a family experience, so everybody gets something a little bit different out of it, from very small children to very elderly people and everybody in between.
With the school holidays nearly finished, staff hope to tailor their program to the newly arriving tertiary students, giving everyone an opportunity to go to infinity and beyond. D. Karen, 39 Dunedin News.
Planning is well underway for the second official Spartans rugby tournament taking place in Dunedin next month. Interest in the event is growing by the day, with dozens of teams registering to raise money for injured players. And local sportswomen are set to benefit from the competition's growing popularity.
Playing with a purpose. Each year the Spartans rugby tournament is a chance for local players to raise money for a good cause while doing what they love. Organisers are confident this year's competition will be the best yet.
Registrations publicly, the tournament was full within an hour, so over 20 teams showing interest just in that first hour. So yeah, there's a few that have let me know that they want to get on board, and there's a few already signed up for 2017, and possibly even Australian side wanting to get amongst the action as well.
The tennis-side competition raises money for the New Zealand Rugby Foundation, which supports seriously injured players. Last year's tournament raised more than $10,000 for the foundation, showing the sport's importance within the local community.
I think everyone really feels good about why we're doing it and why they're there. Everyone loves footy, and you know the country's mad about rugby, so you know, people that get to be a part of that and also help such an amazing foundation.
30 rugby games will be played in just one day during the February tournament. Organisers say it's likely the competition will expand to a 2-day event if interest continues to grow. That additional day will also help to establish a women's competition.
Heaps of interest in the girls wanting to get on board. There's a few girls teams here in Dunedin, and I think there's a few from around the outside areas as well that are keen to get amongst it.
The all-day tournament is set down for the second Saturday in February. A charity dinner is also planned to bolster the fundraising effort. Ruby McAndrew, 39 Dunedin News.
An emerging Christchurch-based artist has found herself looking for ideas and inspiration in Dunedin as part of a summer residency. The Blue Oyster Art Gallery is welcoming Anna Iti to the city to see what she can produce.
Interacting with the physical space is an important element of Anna Iti's drawing practice. She's in Dunedin for the next month for a summer residency. It gives her an opportunity to reflect on her ideas and expand on them.
So especially outside of the art market, I get to experiment and do things that I don't usually get to do in my everyday sort of practical life.
She's only been here for a week and her work is still in the planning stages, but already she's playing with the elements of the gallery's layout.
I saw the floor plan which Chloe sent to me, but seeing the physical space has been really, really helpful, and I think that my idea of how to approach it really changed a lot, spending time in the gallery as well.
Iti is staying in Broad Bay thanks to the Castleberg Trust and says the experience helps her to make new connections.
It's a really lovely opportunity to, especially in Dunedin, being from Christchurch, to take time away from the art scene that I live in usually and make connections with new people in a new place.
Gallery director Chloe Gagan says providing space and time for the artists is important, but that's not all they do.
We also spend a lot of time with the resident, kind of hosting them, showing them around Dunedin, and sending them off to different institutions. We're so lucky in Dunedin to have numerous museums and archives and galleries.
Iti is the first artist in residence this year and will be the first exhibitor at the gallery at the end of her 3 weeks. Dee Karen, 39 Dunedin News.
And just ahead on Southern Newsweek, aerobics enthusiasts get busy with some of the best in the business ahead of the competitive season, and vintage aircraft and vehicle enthusiasts are spoiled for choice as hundreds of machines go on display. Welcome back. Dozens of the city's young aerobics competitors are getting a head start on the 2016 season. They're taking part in a 2-day workshop at Queen's High School, working with top national athletes and choreographers. And participants are learning there's more to the sport than just jumping around.
Getting put through their paces, these up-and-coming aerobics competitors are showing what they're made of while taking part in an intensive workshop. On hand for the 2-day program is reigning men's world champion Cameron Brown. The New Zealand representative is in the city sharing his knowledge.
I'm travelling around different areas in New Zealand and helping teach the kids and possibly some of the coaches as well, just some of my tricks that I've used to help me get up there and help them train as well to improve for competitions.
The workshop is one of 3 being run nationally by the New Zealand Competitive Aerobics Federation. It's serving as preparation for what's set to be a busy competition year. That's something one former Dunedin athlete is familiar with.
Most of the kids here today have competed before, and they're competing in the NZCAF Schools Champs, which are on in August, and that's the regional championships, then preparing for nationals in September, and then the FISAF Championships, the international one, in June.
It's not all about learning choreography, with the coaches also giving advice on what else judges are looking for. Points can be awarded for song selection and the use of mandatory movements. For Lowther, the workshop's especially fun as a return to Dunedin to pass on her knowledge of the sport.
I think it's great to see Dunedin aerobics alive and well, and Queen's High School is where I grew up, so it's nice to be back here, and it's, I think, growing in numbers down here, which is awesome.
While the workshop's tiring with plenty of dancing and push-ups, the lessons are being well received by the young girls taking part. Their moves are being sharpened for another busy competition season. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
More than 50 vintage cars built before 1919 have made their way into the city for a special event. It's the oldest veteran car rally in the Southern Hemisphere, and the restorers of an old fire engine are predicting they may need a little bit of extra help to get them off the starting line.
It was used to fight fires over 100 years ago. This 1916 Dennis fire engine is one of 2 that will be taking part in the Dunedin to Brighton Veteran Vehicle Run. It's been in restoration for the last 5 years.
We got it in pieces, complete and utter mess, and we've slowly worked on it and rebuilt the motor and got it to this stage, and it's now up and running, but the only trouble we're having is getting it started.
And because of its 2.5 tonne weight, cranking the engine isn't an option.
and it's got a trembler box on it. For the older people would know what that is. I won't try and explain it. And when we get that working, we'll be able to start it. Otherwise, we'll need a few hands in at the octagon to give us a bit of a push.
For the first time, the rally will be held on a weekday, and the traditional route has changed slightly because of changes to the motorway. But that hasn't stopped owners from entering their prized wheels.
We have an international rally starting on Saturday, so we have some entries from those cars, which have got to be prior to 1919. Those cars are joining us, so we have 55 vehicles on the rally, which is about a third more than we usually have, so it's a great showing.
Many of the vehicles taking part have never been seen in Dunedin before, and they're arriving from all over New Zealand and many other countries.
We have some fascinating cars. We've got a 1913 Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost, which was on the European tour in 1913 through the Alps. That car returned to Europe for the reenactment of that in 2013 and 100 years later. We've got all sorts of vehicles from France, Belgium, the UK, America.
The rally will leave the Octagon at 11 a.m. on Friday and head out towards the Brighton Domain. D. Karen, 39 Dunedin News.
A colourful collection of privately owned vehicles and aircraft have been on public show. Hundreds of makes and models were displayed locally as part of a national motoring festival being held in the city, and it provided a unique vantage point for many enthusiasts.
Taking in a bird's eye view, this was the scene on the Taieri yesterday, where hundreds of vintage vehicles, aircraft and stalls attracted a large crowd. An estimated 12,000 people turned out to the Wings and Wheels event at the Taieri airfield.
We were hoping for a huge turnout. This has absolutely blown away all our expectations. Absolutely massive crowd.
The helicopters on display were a major drawcard and were exhibited alongside about 40 small aeroplanes. Low-cost helicopter and plane rides were on offer, allowing members of the public to enjoy a unique experience in the sky.
It's very exciting for us and the pilots, as well as the public, you know, some of them going up in aircraft for the first time. So, it's an exciting day for all, yeah.
Dozens of volunteers spent countless hours working on the event. Cunningham says the public's response to the show made it all worthwhile.
I see the smiles on some of these people's faces when they come down after the first time being up in a light plane is just priceless, really.
There were also about 600 cars on show, covering almost a century of motoring history. Wings and Wheels was part of the 10-day International Festival of Historic Motoring, organised by the Vintage Car Club of New Zealand.
Seeing from the view from up above, to see our airfield full of cars and especially the car park, it's chocker. It's just it's an awesome day, it really is.
People of all ages revelled in the event, with some vehicles bringing back memories of old, all while a passion for motoring was sparked in the youngest enthusiasts. Rosie Mannins, 39 Dunedin News.
And finally, artwork by local children is being incorporated into the city's latest public mural. The creative project is being completed this week by 2 Dunedin artists, and it's enhancing a school environment.
Adding a splash of colour, these local artists are putting paint to concrete within the grounds of George Street Normal School. But unlike other murals they've created, this one's utilising the work of children.
All of the childlike drawings, they are drawings that George Street Normal School pupils have done for us to put onto the wall. So we're basically taking their drawings, putting them into a vortex in the sky and then just spinning them around.
The artists are collaborating under the name Stickham and have been working on several large murals around the city. This piece has been in the planning for about 5 months and is expected to be finished on Friday, weather permitting. Novak's hoping it becomes a source of pride and inspiration for pupils at the school and for the wider public.
We've already had lots of comments from kids just going, wow, it's amazing, and there are some children who are at the holiday program at the moment who have contributed to the drawings, so they've seen their own drawings go up onto the wall, so that's been pretty cool.
The school's been supporting the project, organising a disco to raise money for the cost of scaffolding and supplies. Neighbouring landowners have also been involved, with all parties coming on board to endorse the work.
There's a lot of back and forth emailing and negotiating and finding scaffolding and doing the resource consent, which we're getting pretty good at now, and also getting the student input.
All will be revealed to pupils at the start of the school year when they return to class and see their work immortalised. Rosie Mannins, 39, Dunedin News.
And that's all for this edition of Southern Newsweek. Have a look at our website, dunedintv.co.nz, where you can download Southern Newsweek and watch individual clips of 39 Dunedin News or webcast the show. I'm Holly Buchanan, thanks for watching.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.